I think about her often and how she gave of herself. She talked about in the early days of Palmer Scholars where her dad's focus was just literally everything was Palmer Scholars. She said at one point she was really jealous of that. And then when she started becoming involved, she understood her dad's passion. And that passion became her passion. Peggy should be the one being interviewed today instead of me.
My name is Victoria Lozano Garcia. I graduated from Franklin Pierce High School. I'm attending UW-Tacoma and majoring in criminal justice and psychology, and I'm a Palmer Scholar. I'm part of a program called DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. I was born in Mexico. I moved to the United States when I was 5. My mom was a single mom, so it was definitely hard raising 2 young girls, a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. I was leaving my mom in North Dakota. I was leaving my family, and all I knew was that I wanted to join the army, and I somehow wanted to join the army and become a cop. Apparently, you can't join the army if you're not a citizen. I didn't know you couldn't be a cop unless you were a citizen. All I can remember is that I was a 16-year-old who was heartbroken over something he couldn't do. I had to find a new goal.
My name is Reese, and I go to Foss, and I run track.
I'm Victoria, I'm from Franklin Pierce, and I do track.
I heard about the program from another mentor from Tahoma High School. The essays, portions of the application was so in-depth that I kind of opened up to Palmer Scholars without even knowing who was behind the screen. They emailed me and told me that I had an interview. I was surprised. I was shocked because I didn't think I would get far. Palmer Scholars has helped me realize that I could do so much more. The first time I met Peggy, I was going to her house to help her plant flowers. She knew how to get to know somebody, especially younger people. That made you feel like you could open up to her, like she understood what you were going through. I think that was why Peggy and I became super close really fast. She was one of the few people and adults in my life that I could tell them anything, and she wouldn't really judge. She would just let you know that regardless of whatever you do, she's gonna be there. My senior year, I was just done. I wanted to give up. I didn't want to keep trying. I just wanted to pack and go. I wanted to pack and go live with her. And there was a lot of people who just told me that it was a bad idea. That was all they said, and that it wasn't a smart choice. But Peggy did more than that. She made me focus on my goals. She would ask me, so why are you here? And then I would answer and be like, well, I want to get higher education and go to school and graduate. The moment I decided I wanted to stay here, it was the fact that I knew that I had somebody. I knew I had somebody that supported me and who believed in me. Throughout life, you have so many people who tell you they support you, but they don't show it. And Peggy was the type of person that she stopped and showed you. She didn't only tell you once. She would remind you, and she would send you emails, and she would call you and tell you, and she would ask little things like, hey, how are you doing? That you knew she cared. And that moment, I didn't feel alone anymore. Peggy was such a big part in my life.
If I were to describe Peggy as love, she would give whatever's required to help a student to go to college. She would do it in terms of her personal wealth. She would do it in terms of asking other organizations to contribute. And she would engage herself in mentoring for that to be success. I think sometimes we think that it takes a crisis for you to reach out. And I think she was always wanting to be proactive so that crisis moment would never happen. I think her niche was actually working with those Palmer scholars.
She wouldn't just mentor one student at a time. She would have multiple students that she was caring for and helping and giving guidance to.
First time I met Peggy, she was saying that whoever wants to help with yard work could earn a couple bucks on the side during the summer. I decided to do it and went to her house. She loved being in the garden, and I love learning about plants. Even though she needs help, she's still there helping me. I'm like, Peggy, I could do it. And then she was like, no, I want to do this with you. It made me comfortable, being around her. She was definitely a great mentor for me.
I did have a couple of rough years in college. Well, most of my years in college were very rough. And I was a handful. I was pregnant when I got the scholarship. And on my first year of college, I became pregnant with my second child. She always had the right words to keep me, in college. Life as it was for me right now was already difficult. So I had to work with my circumstances I had at that moment and just keep going forward. Control the things that I was able to control. If it wasn't for all the high expectations she had of me, I wouldn't be proud of who I am today. If I could say one last thing to Peggy, it would be thank you so much for all the support you gave me. Thank you for believing in me even when I didn't believe in myself.
Thank you. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for me and for Palmer. I appreciate your spirit. I appreciate your strength.
I wish I could have told her something before she passed away. She did so much. She helped me so much. I would want to tell her that I appreciated everything she did.
Thank you for your caring and your thoughtfulness and being selfless, and for all that you did for our students over the years, making such a positive impact. I just want to say I love you and I thank you.
In my mind, she's not really gone. I still have the motivation to keep going to college.
Peggy, rest in peace, because we have been impacted by your presence with us for these many years, and the mission will continue.
It's so much more than the scholarships.
In Palmer, they get something they don't get from other programs, and that's that personal mentoring, the personal commitment.
We genuinely care about their well-being.
Peggy's memory will always live on in my heart, in our hearts. And your support ensures that the Palmer family legacy will continue on for years to come. Thank you for creating hope and opportunity through education. The week before I started college, she ordered this hoodie, a UW hoodie. She gave it to me and told me, you have to wear it as much as you can to let all the cougars know that Huskies are better.